Good afternoon, this is Pat Walker, Mission Winners, doing a video overview of the ETFs. You can say, why do we look at the ETFs? I gotta be honest, it's not because we like to look at a bunch of charts, but it's to help us make better decisions. Here's a fact. Leading groups produce leading stocks, and leading stocks produce leading groups. If we see strength developing in an ETF, it may mean, right, that there are stocks in that ETF or in that group that are improving. That's why we do what we do, and it works. It works really well. So here we go. Weekly on the left, daily on the right. This is our genomic revolution. It's all these are ETFs. And you can say, yeah, it kind of picked up here a bit. This is the daily chart. But look at the weekly chart. Look at the longer base here, folks. I'll draw this for you. Do it right across there. Nothing fancy. Take out these tops, which corresponds to high on this bar, corresponds with the high on this bar. Note also, it lifted up on good volume and pulled back on less volume. What's the best thing it could do? Form a little handle here and then take off that top. There you go. There's number one, ARKK, just for what it's worth. And I think it's worth quite a bit, to tell you the truth. Let's continue onwards. By the way, it's power to know what to look for to buy. And there's also tremendous power in knowing what to avoid. Cloud computing lifted across this top. Look at the weekly base, and it lifted off. Decent volume here, and then a pickup here. Cloud computing, what does that tell us? Well, it's starting to improve. I'm not saying buy it, but that's powerful information. Say, oh, cloud computing stocks are improving out of that long weekly base. Okay, and it lifted up on volume there, folks. Continue onwards. DBC, the commodity index. This is why we do this. What does this say? This is the weekly and the daily. It's saying, I'm staying away from commodities. That's tremendous power, knowing what to possibly look for to buy and areas to stay away from. There you go. We've got, like I said, a limited amount of money and a limited amount of time. Let's use them wisely. DDM, this is the Dow Ultra, Dow 30, okay? It's kind of like the diamonds, but it's a double. And you can see it's picking up here a little bit, all right? Going across these tops. Here's the weekly. It's okay. It's all right. That's the Dow. Here's the diamonds. Same thing, non-leveraged. And you can see it's acting all right here. Okay. Watch and see what happens. Electric vehicles. Pushed above these tops right here. Clean base. And it's marching. Gosh, I wonder what's in there. Yeah, you know what's in there? Tesla's in there. Electric vehicles. Here we go. Dow Jones Internet's been picking up. Look at the base. I drew this a couple of weeks ago. I'll do something for you here to help you. This is what we do at Mission Winners. And it ain't fancy. That's the part I like. It's vanilla. There you go. There's the weekly pushing through here. And you can see on the daily it marched up. There you go. I got to do something here real quick. Hold on. There we go. Update that. Pull back just a little bit. There we are. Let's continue. Excuse me. Let's continue onwards. This is the IBD 50. It's a low level base down here, folks. This thing's really been lagging for a long time. What did that tell us? We stayed away from a lot of the basic growth stocks. However, we did really well because in the fall, what did we have? We had a lot of energy stocks that went to town for us. Leading groups, leading stocks. IBD 50 is not doing a lot right now. Let's continue onward here. Here we go. This is the Dorsey Wright First Trust. Okay, this is a technology related, and you can see it's just basing here. You can see it on the weekly. Nothing real special, and there's some selling that going on here too, so be careful with that. That's power to know. China's dropping here a little bit, okay? It's not bad, I'm not saying that, but what does this tell you? It gapped down on heavy volume here. It fell on heavier volume here. It fell on a pickup in volume here. What is it saying? Be careful with China. That's power to say, maybe I should stay away from Chinese stocks. There we go. And by the way, I'm not getting political here at all. I'm just looking at the charts. They tell us what to do. That's all. Okay. Gold miners. Look at this drop here. In 1 second, it says, I'm staying away from gold miners. Done. That helps us. It's important to know what to look for. It's important to know what to avoid. The same avoid. Here we go. Gold. Look at gold. Dropping like a rock. Stay away from it. That's simple. Move on. IBB started to rally up near these old highs. You can see, here's the bar. This bar here is this bar here. Rallies up and backs off a little bit, okay? It needs to show some power, but at this point in time, it's saying Choppy, stay away from biotech. Done. Oil and gas exploration, in 1 second on the daily, it says, stay away from oil and gas. That's power, folks. That narrows down your list of what to look for. Continue onwards. Technology's doing decent here. Spotted down a little bit here on Friday, but look at the weekly, how it's picking up. What does this say? Software. Yeah, maybe we should look at some software stocks. And it did say that a while ago, a couple of weeks ago. It was telling you, hey, you might, this little base right here, and it starts to pick up. And look at the volume on this bar. Dow Jones Medicine's hanging up. Look at this longer base, and it started to lift off right here on the weekly. And look at it pushing up. Look at the volume spike on this bar, folks. All right? The high on this bar corresponds with the high on this bar. Look at the pickup. There, I'm not saying buy it now, but the techniques, the tactics help you say where to go and what to avoid, as I stated. Mid caps picking up here a little bit. Look at the weekly picking up. And that, what does that say? The rally spreading out. That's nice to know. Aerospace and defense, kind of choppy up here, okay? Some tail bars up here. So be a little careful with aerospace and defense. Home construction, picking up again. Look at the volume that came into it on that bar right there. I'm going to show you something. This is what we teach all the time. So, oh, it's going sideways. You know, I guess if it takes out these tops across that line with volume, that'd probably be a decent thing, wouldn't it? Oh, gee whiz, they voted. Look, people talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. They voted, and it's working. There you go. I'm not saying buy it now, but I'm just pointing out the application of the tactics and techniques. And it's simple. It's not fancy. Continue onwards. S&P growth needs to go across these tops on the weekly. You can see it. See the tail bar right here? Needs to push above this tail bar. This tail bar here is right there. Needs to take out those tops. And until it does, be careful with that sector. Continue onwards. IWM. Look at this. Look at the lift. Look at the volume pickup. Look at the March. It was good. Watch this. You can say, oh, I see those tops. Yeah, I guess if it takes out these highs, that'd be pretty good. See, I said we shouldn't buy it, right? You know, I told you. Oh, gee whiz. Look. It found support on the rising 8 EMA. That's the yellow line. And it lifts off. What was it telling you? Back here, I was saying, hey, a small cap, the rally's spreading out. Duh. There you go. It works. U.S. real estate acting decent here. Real estate picking up a little bit. That's good to see. Continue onward. Transportations. Look at the base on transportations. You want to see something great? This is what we teach. This is vanilla. I was an IBD meetup co-leader for 12 years. I used to teach this on the stage until they would boo me off. But I never had anybody throw any apples or tomatoes at me. Just kidding. Never had that happen. Anyway, going sideways right here. All right, on the weekly. And there's the daily with a volume pickup. Look, and it worked. I'm not saying buy it here, but I'm saying if you were prepared looking at this, you would have seen that base. And that's good for dang near 10 points. That's not too bad. Let's continue on. We're not saying buy it now, but here we go. Airlines picking up a little bit. You can see this. Look at the weekly, look at the daily. Have you noticed what's the common theme here? You could say, that kind of looks like more ETFs are doing a little better. Yeah, the rally's spreading out. And the charts were telling us we don't need to forecast. We get in line with that, what they're saying. It's a great quote, Dave Landry. I'll believe in what I see and not in what I believe. Just get in line with it. That's it. Lifted through this base right here. A little choppy, okay? A lot of overhead with the regional banks. You got to kind of be careful with that. Biotechnology and other biotechnology ETFs. And it's lifted off here, okay? And you can see it on the weekly, but a little choppier, okay? Continue onward. Mid cap. Look at the base right here on the weekly. Look at it lift up here, go sideways, and look at the igniting bar here. What's it telling you? What was it telling us? Hey, the rally's spreading out. It's just not the big stocks that are moving or the little ones. The mid cap stocks are doing good too. There you go. Oil services. What does this say? Stay away from oil services. Done. You don't have to overthink it. Look at it down. Look at it down on heavy volume. You know, look at the volume bars. Look at all the red volume bars. It's saying stay away from me for right now. Done. Move on. Makes it easy. Pharmaceuticals. What does this say? Stay away from the drugs. Probably good to stay away from the drugs in many different ways, if you know what I mean. Okay? Nothing good there. Continue onward. Software. Dynamic software. Lift it up. Little thinner here, okay? I point this out. This is a very valuable lesson. You can say, That baby gaps a little bit here, Pat. Look at, ooh, there's a gap. Oh, there's a gap. Oh, you know, kind of gap. Oh, look at the gap. Yeah, you want to know something? This is a valuable lesson right here. What's the average daily volume on this? Look over here. The average daily volume on this stock's probably around here. It's probably 6,000 shares a day is all it does. It's trading by appointment only. Be careful with that. If they decide to sell, you can get hurt. There's a valuable lesson for you. Stay away from the thin stuff. QLD lifted up off this base. Look at the weekly. And here it is on the daily. Look at the volume on the daily. You see that right there? See the highs here? Watch this. I love this stuff. This is as good as chocolate chip ice cream. That's pretty good. Those bases right there, that was a trigger to buy. We did. There we go. We sold some into strength. We'll watch and see what happens. I'm not saying buy it here, but you can see the technique. The weekly base, the daily base, pushing through on volume. That's it. People talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. Go where they're buying. Go where they're voting. QQQ, the same thing as QLD. RTH lifted up and then dropped hard. Something got hit in retail. Okay? When you see this, do this and this, be careful. Be careful with it. Okay? Also, another lesson, RTH. What's the average volume on this sucker? It's probably around 12,000 shares a day. It's trading by appointment only. Stocks and ETFs that trade really thin are more prone to gapping. Be careful with that. Silver. Not so good. What's that say? Stay away from silver. Steel's hanging in. Okay, nothing really special. Lifted here, but it's not making a lot of headway. Be careful with that. Semiconductors, technology related, lifted across this base right here. And look at the volume pickup. IOB, watch this. Down here. That's a daily chart. Oh, it's just kind of going sideways. It's a big cup and a handle. I don't know. Maybe if it takes out that wide line, if there's volume, maybe that'd be a decent thing to do. Oh, gee whiz. Look at the volume that came into it. There you go. Vanilla. Nothing fancy. It's simple. It's conceptually correct. There we go. I'm not saying buy it here, but they bought it there, didn't they? Look at the volume spike. People talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. They voted. There we go. Spiders picking up a little bit. The S&P 500, you can see it on the weekly. Here's SSO picking up a little bit. Shows the rally spread it out a little bit. That's good to see. Solar runs up, gaps up, and reverses down. There you go. By the way, notice it didn't trigger on this bar. It didn't take out these highs. You got to be careful with that. Nothing to do with it now. 20-year treasuries a little choppy up here, just pointing it out. Small caps, just like IWM, TNA, the leverage. Pick it up. There we go. What does that tell us? Well, let's see. QLD's doing pretty good. Yeah, it looks like the rally's spreading out. Yeah, there you go. MDY, IWM, TNA, natural gas. What does this say? Stay away. Oh, here's dad humor. Stay away, you'll get burnt. Okay, I had to do it. I'm sorry. My kids were around. They just shake their head. And the scary thing is, my kids have kids, so I guess my grandkids would. Anyway, uranium runs up. Pretty heavy volume here, okay? A little choppy. Be careful with that. We're about done. Oil, another energy ETF. What's this saying? Stay away from energy. Boom, done. Move. Consumer, the consumer, picking up here a little bit. That's good to see. Consumer discretionary. For a long time, it was languishing. Look, but it started to pick up. The consumer, the chart's telling you the consumer's coming back. Aerospace and defense has picked up a little bit. That's good to see. Biotechnology, another biotechnology ETF, picking up there a little bit. Biotech. Home builders picking up a little bit. That's good to see. I'm going to pause here and share this with you. Do you see the common theme? There are more ETFs acting better. The rally is spreading out to more sectors. Isn't that good to know? There we go. Helps us. It guides us. Materials lifted off. And this is indicative of some of the stuff going on in the market. Lifts up, comes back into the base. That's happening in certain areas. Be careful with that. What's the moral of this story? Always control, maintain, composure, control, risk. There you go. Communications, base right here. The volume, not on that bar, the previous bar, and it lifted off. Communications, you go, God, that was pretty good. I wonder what was in there. This is the great lesson for all of us. When it's starting to go, if you want to, you could punch up XLC, the top 10 holdings on XLC. You may find a candidate to buy. There you go. There's the power in the tactic. Energy, another energy ETF. What does this say? Stay away from energy. That's simple. That's simple. By the way, you see this little base right here? Right there? You see the volume pickup through here? This was on the key list. And that was a nice move. A real nice move. There we go. Nothing to do with it now, though. Here it is. Nothing. Stay away. Financials picking up a little bit. That's good to see, spreading out. Industrials picking up a little bit. That's good to see, spreading out. Technology lifting up. Rally spreading out. Consumer staples. Still pretty choppy here, folks. Really lagging. Be careful. Healthcare. Lagging. Be careful. Consumer discretionary. Another one. Acting better. There we go. Metals and mining. Acting better. Areas to look into. Oil. Another energy ETF. Look at it. It's saying I better stay away from energy. Done. That's power. Retailing. Another retail ETF. Picking up with volume. What's that say? The consumer's back and they're buying. It's forecasted. It's projected in the chart. I'm not saying buy it here, but I am saying it's been showing strength. So what could you do with that knowledge when you saw it a week and a half ago? You could say, I guess I could look at some leading retail stocks. There you go. Power. You could click and find out the top 10 holdings in XRT. There we go. Software, technology picking up. Good to see. And back to the top. We love the MAXLIST stock. Here's Apple. Now, this is an important lesson for everybody. This week, this past week, and coming up for a while, earnings, big earnings coming out. It's compulsory to know the earnings dates and preferably time, because some of these stocks report before the open, okay? That could be a rude awakening if you don't know that. You go, oh my gosh, why am I, it's gapping down, what happened? Oh, they had earnings and I didn't know. Yes, we know it in Mission Winners, we work at that. Apple's picking up a little bit. This is the result of earnings, okay? And what does it tell us? Hey, there's some strength in big technology. Now, this is the daily, here's the weekly, and I'll draw something for you. Right there. What's it need to do? This is the best thing it could do to absorb these fast gains. And again, it was off the bottom. Form a small handle here. And I'm not saying it's going to. Form a small handle, digest these gains, and then take off. That's a trigger to buy. Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's what we look for. All right, let's continue onwards. Amazon. Lift it up. We were buying that down here in this low level base, pushing through here. Bought more. Sold into strength. In great shape. There you go. That's how you'll do it. Clean and simple. And I'll show you right through here to these tops right here. And here's the daily cup with a handle, and off it goes. Nothing fancy. Did we go heavy? No. Why? Because the market was a little rough. Also, we knew earnings were coming. We sold into strength. There it is. It's a simple base through there, folks. That's what we're looking for. Let's continue onwards. Alibaba. We own Alibaba down lower. I'll show you something here. See this low level base right here? Low level base right here, and more, and off to the races. That's it. Simple. Here's the weekly chart. So what do we do with this? Well, we bought it a couple of times, sold into strength, VIPs own it, and we've sold some into strength. We're in good shape. Everything's fine. Watch and see what happens. And again, sells into strength help. It guarantees profits and it lessens stress and risk. So let's continue onwards. BIDU. You can see right here, entry, up higher, working. Excuse me. And I have to show you this too. There was a, you can see this level here. There's a lower level here, down here, okay? And there's another level here. And I'll draw it for you. Through there. I just wanted to put that out there, okay? This line corresponds with this line on the weekly. Just want to get it all together. Sells into strength, in great shape. There you go. Look at the volume pickup on that bar. What do you think you do with a gift like that? You sell some. You don't have to sell it all, but you sell some. It guarantees profits, it lessens stress, which leads to clearer thinking. There it is. Clean and simple basis. MAXLIST stock. Google. Google was really chopping around here a lot. Weren't involved with it in this. I mean, this whipping back and forth, that could chew you up alive, financially and mentally. So this big gap up right here, what was that? That was earnings, okay? Good. So what do? We'll watch this and see if it could form a handle on the weekly. And I don't know if it will. I don't know the future. Nobody does. But if it could form a handle for several days, and then on the daily too, and take that off, that might be a spot to buy. We'll watch and see. I say this a lot at Mission Winners. I type this a lot. People talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. They voted on that bar. So let's watch and see what happens. Continue onwards. Goldman Sachs is picking up a little bit. You can see it on the weekly. You can see it on the daily. Remember this. I don't know if their earnings are out or not. Okay? Just be aware. Please be aware. Please be careful buying just before earnings. Oh, you can get hurt really bad, financially and psychologically. I mean, I know what that's like. I've been there, and it's a stinger. So there we go. Goldman Sachs, maybe across these tops. Let's continue onwards. What's it need, though? It needs volume. So far, not a lot of volume. Here we go. MasterCard just chopping around here. I mean, whipping around. Nothing really clean at this point in time. Maybe it'll take this out, these tops out, but it's a little choppy. It's kind of loose. Look at the weekly. Look at the daily. That's loose. Meta, picking up right here through these tops. And you see this base down here? Right in here? There you go. And then there's another shelf right here, and I'll draw it for you. Close enough. Sell into strength. Sell some just in case before earnings. And we got a gift. In it from down lower. Weekly, daily, MAXLIST stock, and it's working. It's working. There it is. Simple. Simple basis pushing through MAXLIST stock. Here we go. Let's continue onwards. Oh, by the way, let's cut to the chase here too. Don't buy it up here. Please don't chase price up here. All right? Wait. Just that. It sounds like I'm barking orders. I don't mean it that way. But always control risk. Chasing price opens ourselves up to bigger drawdown risk. So please be careful with that. Here we go. Microsoft, based across here. This was earnings. This lifted off on earnings. Now you want to see something neat? You can see it on the daily. You can see it on the weekly. I'll draw it for you. And yeah, we've already talked about this at Mission Winners. There it is. There's the tops. What would we like to see? Well, you know, here you can see it on the weekly too. It's the same line, folks. This will help you. This is what we used to teach at the IBD meetups too. It's the same line, nothing fancy. What would be the best thing it could do? Well, it had a big spike up. Maybe form a handle here. Give it 3 to 4 days. Maybe it'll form a handle and lift off on volume. That could be a spot to buy. There you go. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it is something to watch. All right. Netflix, entry down lower right here. You see this low level base right here? 300 up to 366. I didn't need a calculator to say that's 60 plus points, folks. There it is. Simple, simple basis. Bouncing off the 50-day, off the 21-day, off the ADMA. See the volume pickup on that bar right there? Right there. There it is. Now, I need to pause here. I'm not saying buy it here. Please, this is very important. This is for everybody. Be careful chasing price. NVIDIA, entry down here. See the low-level cup with handle? See the volume pickup on that bar? I'll make this bigger for you. Look at that right there. Watch this. This is fun. I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's going sideways. Yeah, I see a little cup with a handle here. It's off the 50-day. If it pushes through there, maybe that'd be something to buy. Oh, gee whiz, look at the volume pickup on that bar. It was bought right there. It was on the key list. MAXLIST stocks. I love these stocks. And 50 points plus. There it is. In a crummy market, I'm keeping it clean. There it is. Trends pay. Look at the trend up the ADMA. This stock has not closed below the ADMA for this entire move. There you go. Trends pay. Please don't buy it up here. I'm just pointing out the tactics and how they work. Tesla, base down here, buy right there, buy more here, volume pickup, right? Here, vanilla. Here's the weekly. And it worked. Sold some into strength. In great shape. Please, I need to pause here and share something. This is not a case of bragging. That's nauseating. Okay, I don't want to do that. I want to make this a conducive environment from an educational perspective, saying, oh, okay, I'm learning something here. This is going to make me better. Yeah, this will help me make better investing decisions. There you go. I like that. And you know what I always like? Controlled risk. You bought it right here. Where would you sell it? Well, it pushed above the line. If it falls below the line, you sell some. The best ones, just go, okay? And then watch this. Really falls, you sell the rest below that line or below the ADMA. Done. Vanilla. Vanilla. There you go. Let's move on. Visa, that's a bad data bar, I do believe. Let me hit all four and see. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's right or not. Let me go back here too. Yeah, that was a bad data bar. So just, it's too loose here, folks. Be careful with that. And then we go, and that's it. That was stuck down there and it shouldn't be there. Anyway, that is the MAXLIST stocks. And you can see when they move. And that's why we lean on them.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.